Welcome, everybody, to another edition of the Hurry Up. I'm your host, Adam. Let's get into it. The New York Giants. That's right, this team right here. They have gone to free agency and they've made some moves. We thought they were going to go bottom of the basement shopping. Remember, they got Matt Cano. We all like the pick. Guy who, had some history with Atlanta. Atlanta wanted to keep him. They wanted to make him keep him around as their swing tackle, or maybe their starting tackle. We don't know exactly what they wanted, but they put a second round tenure on him back when free agency in 2020 began. This year he was injured, had a shoulder injury, didn't get to play as much. Giants get to grab him up on a low budget deal, no cost to them, right? Low risk, high reward type thing. You know what I mean? So boom, he doesn't work out, you're out of here. But I think he'll be part of the rotation. I think the Giants got their swing tackle. Doesn't necessarily mean he's that's the end all be all, but they got a guy who can come in, give him some spot starting duties, maybe be extra competition going forward for anybody that comes into that position. Now, let's get into another signing they had. Robert Foster, wide receiver. He played all over the place. He was started with the Bills, ended up with the Dallas Cowboys on their practice squad. He's a guy that brings speed, can open up the defense, get over the top in the defense. This shows me the Giants are trying to go deep this year. I don't know if the arm strength of Daniel Jones can handle it. I think he can throw a beautiful deep ball. This is one of those things that I believe helps out the Giants immensely. Now, I don't know what this means for Darius Slayton. He does kind of the same things. The only difference is I think this guy, Foster's got more speed and probably will play special teams. Might be a return man. He's got a little shiftiness to him. Came from Alabama when Brian Dable was there. Then went to the Bills again when Brian Dable was there. No coincidence. And here he is. This is I think the third bill, second or third bill that we signed. Could be wrong. But that leads me to the next couple signings. The Giants got back into the free agency game. We all thought, Robert Foster, what is this? What is this? Well, they got Joe Feliciano and Mike Golowski. Now, Golowski is a guard that played in the Colts system, blocked for a guy that got about 2,000 yards from scrimmage. And that Colt offensive line that's been pretty good this year. To get a guy like him, I know people are worried about the money. This guy is the starter immediately at one of your guard spots. I'm going to say right guard for right now, just because you put him at the right guard. What that allow you to do is get your right tackle as a rookie. He can be that stabilizing presence for that right tackle that's coming out, right? That's what he's going to be. He's going to be the stabilizing presence for the tackle that you may get or may not get, depending on what happens in free agency. But he's a guy that's going to help on the line. You know he's got some run blocking. They're going to run downhill. They run similar schemes in Indianapolis. And so I like this move for the Giants. It's a good one. He was one of the guys who was in the second tier of free agents. Isn't overly great, but isn't a bum either. And he's a little older, 29 years old. They gave him a 3-year deal, which means you're getting a guy in his prime, ready to go to make a difference on this line. And it kind of helps you out because when you get a guy for 3 years, what this can do is in the next draft or two drafts, in this draft and the next draft, you can get a guy to eventually replace him when his contract is up, right? So this allows you that flexibility to do that. And I think that's a good plan going forward. You got to think in the future, not just in the present, right? And now you're getting an offensive line together for Daniel Jones. I'll get to him in a minute. The next guy is Joe Feliciano. He got cut by the Buffalo Bills, played guard for them last year, did pretty well in the playoffs. Is a bit of a mauler, got a nasty streak to him. Going to bring a lot of energy and a lot of attitude to this offensive line. He is now being penciled in as the center, which means Bobby Johnson is coach. And that's another thing. Both the linemen that got hired or signed here were both Bobby Johnson disciples. Okay, Bobby Johnson had Galowoski in in Indianapolis, and then he also had Joe Feliciano last year in Buffalo. So I'm sure Joe Schoen was like, "Hey, do you know about these guys? What are these guys about, and how can you help us moving forward?" And I'm sure he put in a good word. Said, "Yeah, he can play center. He was a backup center for the Buffalo Bills last year. I'm sure Dable knows a lot about him, and it's easy. You need a guy, and this is a good move. And here's why, people. Okay." He's a center. He'll know the center calls right off the bat. Going to take pressure off Daniel Jones right immediately. It's not going to be, Tyler Linderbaum who's going to have to learn the offense and plug him in and not be on the same page. This guy could walk in from day one and be like, Daniel, this is what I'm seeing. Make your calls, make your checks, as opposed to a rookie, which would put a little bit more emphasis on Daniel and a little less emphasis on the blocking scheme. This will allow the Giants to be versatile, to run their full offense, to have a guy that's seen a lot of things. I know he's played guard, but I'm sure he's played some center at Buffalo, and they're going to make him a center here. And again, knowing the offense, knowing the guard spots, knowing that he probably was cross-trained at center and guard in this particular offense bodes well for the Giants going forward. I think that knowledge base is going to be really good as well. And not to mention, we finally got a dog on the line. We got a dog on the line, a guy who's going to punch people in the mouth, get in their face. Think of like a feisty Nick Gates, but this will spread the entire way. I think you're going to see an attitude adjustment for this team. And I think it's going to be a really effective signing. The last part I will say is once these pieces are starting to come together, the right tackle's probably coming in the draft, and maybe a guard in the second round too, to fill that out. Because the Giants right now had five players under contract for the offensive line. They now have 8 players under contract for the offensive line. They're probably going to bring in about 15 guys via the draft, minor free agencies, and UDFAs at the end of the draft to kind of compete, and may the best man win. But what this does mean is Daniel Jones, now there are no excuses. They're going to build this line. They're going to put it in front of you. You're going to be the man. If you don't deliver, you won't be here. And we'll see what happens. The Giants are looking to try to build this team the right way. I think you're going to see these type of free agents, but you're going to also see guys in the draft that are going to come up and be glue pieces that are missing. So, hey, Giants fans, it was a good first day. Let's see. I don't think they're going to go any higher. I think they're going to now look for a tight end in this particular next wave, and maybe another corner or something like that to shore up everything. Who knows? Bradbury is still on the books. Whether he's cut or traded, that money's got to come off to allocate somewhere. I think they're going to try to use up all their money to buy free agency, and then as it gets closer and closer to the draft, you'll see either Bradbury traded or he'll be let go at some point. And this way it'll free up the money for the draft picks. But this has been another edition of the Hurry Up. Hope you enjoyed the show. Let's go Giants. Keep getting those signings. Let's go.